Ready? Okay. We'll call on November 9th, 2022 Barnes County North School Board meeting to order. Any additions or changes on the agenda, Mr. Curry?
No.
Okay. And we'll move right to consent agenda, which is the amended revised minutes and the regular minutes, bills and financial reports, if you have any questions or comments there. Basically what we did was revised the previous minutes is what we did, amended them. Because we amended the motion.
So do we need to have a motion and whatever to amend the motion?
We did that. We need, last time's basically what we
Okay.
did.
So that's what we did, we amended the motion. Okay.
Last month, we basically amended the motion from
Got it.
the previous month.
I have a question on the check register.
Okay.
On like the second page, there's a spot that just says excess costs.
It carries down for special ed, I believe.
Yep, that's special ed, I believe. Do you know what check number or anything?
I think it rolls from one above to one
It
below.
was on like the third page. I
Of
just
the
could-
general fund
The
one?
general fund
The
one?
detailed check register is on
Yeah.
that last board packet.
Yep. So there's an excess cost,
Yep.
I guess can you tell me some more information so I can find it?
It was
And the bills?
November 1st, excess cost, November 22, 10,826.80.
Yep, that is for Cheyenne Valley Special
Special
Ed,
ed. Yeah.
that's our monthly payment to them.
Oh,
In
okay.
excess of what they get from our foundation aid.
Okay, I just didn't know what excess cost was.
Yep.
And then there's one other one that says out of pocket, that was just right below that. That was like $843.
Well, that's for
That's for
the
the
grant.
mental health grant.
That's for mental health grant.
Okay.
Comes out of the grant.
Do we,
fund.
how much do we have in that grant this year? Do you,
15,000.
15 grand? Okay. That'll run in the negative till we get the reimbursement, that all that will work?
It'll run in the negative for the whole year because we weren't aware of the amount when we created. the
Because we
budget.
didn't have a budget item for it. Okay. Okay.
Well, we can amend the budget.
We can amend the budget, yes,
Yes.
but I guess that's your prerogative.
So how though, when you're done at the end of the year, then you go for reimbursement? Is that how that
I
works?
have
or
to
how?
claim reimbursement every month.
Every month?
Every month.
So when it comes back in, do you gotta put that to miscellaneous, or can you put it to that line? item?
No, it has to go to a different revenue account.
It can't drop right into that,
No,
that's what I thought,
no.
okay.
I don't know off the top of my head what that account number is, but.
It'll be a
it's
different one than that
01059
59.
Number of some sort, yes. It would be
Okay.
the same number we've used previously, but I just don't know it off the top of my
Okay.
head.
They won't balance into that account,
No.
that one's gonna show negative all the time.
No.
Yep.
Is there something I need to do differently for that, or? Okay.
Yeah, I have a couple questions. Textbooks expense, they're 26,000 over budget. Was that the curriculum stuff that was discussed a couple meetings ago?
Are you looking at the expenditure report?
Well, not the checks, but like, yeah, expenses to budget.
Yep.
Now,
Yeah.
this is the first time we've actually had the full budget in there.
Yep.
so.
Yep.
So if you tell me the exact line item, I can look at it, but
Well,
if
it's $26,000 over budget. So I was just checking in
So if it's on
total.
page 9, I can see right now that there's a $25,000, like, anything that has in the second set of numbers, like a 109 or
Okay.
a 110 or a 111 or a 112, those are all ESSER funds.
Oh.
And
got
we
it.
budgeted for those, but they're not gonna fall in the exact line items that we
Yep.
budgeted for, just based on the bills that come in, depends on where I have to claim them.
Okay, perfect.
Which I'm guessing that 26,000 is that in social studies.
Yep, and I
Yep.
know that
That's
went.
what I was just making sure I was following which
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
that was. Did the auditor ever give us a recommendation to help you clean up the liabilities of the general fund?
No, we're going to work through our audits and try to get them caught up, and then I think all of that's gonna
Okay.
happen at the end. And-
Got it.
And to be honest, I thought I was gonna get those all kinda, working, and then Deb passed away, and
Mhm.
now I'm behind, so.
Nope, I understand, just making sure that's on his list to get to
Yep,
you.
Yep.
But building and school lunch, we never did budget, we kind of decided against that. Is there like a multi-year trend of what we're supposed to be watching? Because food cost is food cost, or are we just gonna let that ride?
We've always just let it ride, kind
Okay.
of, so.
And then you were gonna have the auditor help put extracurricular into the activity, right?
Yep,
Okay.
and that has been a process that I'm working through.
Perfect.
Nothing is being paid out of the extracurricular account anymore. I still have the account open because there's a bunch of uncashed checks in there that I need to figure out what I'm doing with. And I went to the unclaimed properties
Disaster.
seminar at convention, and yeah, sometime I just have to find time to start doing it, to be honest.
It's a nightmare, but it can be done.
It's just a matter of time, but it's slowly
Yeah.
transitioning over.
No, I understand, these are not to-do lists, they're just questions. And then last, District 5 revenue, do they reimburse us for all the expenses for that, for the tournament, or do we get the gate?
We
It's,
get the gate.
Okay.
yeah, we
It
get
comes
the
out of the
gate and then
gate.
it's dispersed, whatever, if there's an excess,
Over
it gets
ex-
dispersed to
expenses.
the District
Yeah.
5
Got it.
schools.
Okay.
And if we're below, then we ask them for more money. But I believe Mr. Wilson, everybody got money back.
Yep, well,
We are still in the process of
Of
writing all
getting
our
it,
checks, too,
but-
because we are
Okay.
waiting.
I
for-
just saw all the expenses.
We
and
will
I
be in
didn't
the
know.
black, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
each school should get around $70.
Oh, we've been- Okay, we're in the black.
Still black.
Yes,
Black.
no, and that was the thing, because, I mean, our expenses were a lot more this year compared to when it was in Lemoore too. And like, our gates were way off of last year's, but with it being in Lemoore and all the schools that are closer to there, the travel, and then plus our expenses were a lot more for the officials to travel, for mileage reimbursement, but then we also had an AT present for all the games, which we didn't have last year, so that was another added expense.
That's all. Fine, thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, everyone.
Any other questions on anything on consent agenda? If not, we need a motion to approve that.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Eric? Roll call, Lindsay?
Rob,
Yep.
Chad,
Yep.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Eric.
Yes.
Okay, patron forum, nobody approached you? Okay.
Nope.
Just me.
Administrative reports, anything to add from yours, Mr. Curry?
Just a couple things, as far as that Barnes County Commission meeting I attended. Randy McLaughlin had set that up. I just went to listen and kinda got suckered into speaking at that meeting. I wasn't expecting to do that, but it was fine. It was just informational for the commission to let them know what we're looking at. So, I mean, obviously with the election, with what Randy was doing, we haven't done any additional stuff yet as far as digging into that further. So we'll start that, and it will be, I mean, a process and probably a lengthy one as far as looking at cost, time, contracts, that kind of stuff moving forward. So that's all that it is it's just informational. I would still like more of those people that I sent an email out to about the strategic planning committee meeting. If there's one more willing to do that, that would be great. If not, I'm just going to open it up to everybody again. For that meeting is on the 22nd, 23rd?
23rd.
23rd, from 1 to 3. So if I don't hear anything by the end of next week, I will open that up to the full board for representation on that strategic planning committee, and then just PT conferences, if when school gets moved to e-learning tomorrow, conferences will be rescheduled for the 17th and 22nd. Instead of one long night, we're gonna break it up into two different nights, a Thursday and a Tuesday. So there's one day and then a break for that. So that's all I have to add
Okay,
for that. But if we don't have school tomorrow, it will be an e-learning day.
okay.
Oh, they sent devices home?
Yes.
I haven't met my kids yet.
Yep.
I was actually trying to find them on my way here, so.
Thanks. Any questions, Mr. Curry? Mr. Wilson, secondary and PD report.
No, I don't have anything else to add.
Add, okay. Any questions you have of Mr. Wilson? No, thanks. Sabussy, elementary principal. Anything to add there?
Don't think I do.
just a blessing. Who's this Tyson you're talking about in the elementary recognitions?
My husband,
Oh, okay.
he volunteers,
Uh-huh.
and then since he works for Microsoft, they pay $25 an hour towards the organization that he's
wonderful.
volunteering for.
Okay.
So he thoroughly enjoys working concessions.
Well,
You
good,
probably see him
good.
at football games working
Mhm.
for Shine. So
Well, thank him for it.
Yeah.
Thank him for us.
I try to get him to volunteer some.
I'm not gonna bite on that one.
He hasn't yet, but I do use it against him quite often.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Bitts, technology.
We had a tech committee meeting today, and basically on the agenda was just a platform called ClassLink, which is a site that allows kids to log into one portal and access all of their stuff from that one portal. So our kids use multiple technologies. They're logging into Schoology, they're logging into Seesaw, they're logging into iExcel, they're logging into RenLearn, and the list goes on and on. There's a lot of time lost when they're trying to retrieve their usernames and passwords from year to year or even day to day, forgetting that. So with this platform, it's one portal, the kids log in once, and then there's icons in that portal for everything that they use in the classroom that they'll automatically be logged into, so they're not logging in multiple times to multiple sites. It is something that the state adopted here this past summer. You may have seen it, they're funding it for the 22-23 school year with intentions to keep funding it, but of course that is going to depend on what comes about in the funding area. But they're pretty optimistic. So schools, K-12 schools have the option to sign on. Worst case scenario, I did talk to our sales rep for North Dakota and said, you know, what if, because the tech committee met and decided this is something they would like to move forward with. So we're on the list for implementation for next August of 2023. Worst case scenario that could happen if they drop it after a year and the state doesn't pay for it anymore, it's $2,500 a year for small schools, $19.95, and I'm just rounding here, so $19.95 for the licensing and $500 for hosting. So that's kind of where we're at. We're gonna do a demo on it so that the teachers that volunteer to be in on that demo can ask any questions that they might have, but I think we're getting into it where kids are using so many different things, and teachers are losing a lot of time when they don't know their usernames and passwords. And it's a security thing. It's got multi-factor authentication, so they're just using one username and password, and the security level is higher on that to access. There's a dashboard for parents, so the parents are also logging into several areas, so when they use their one login ID and password, they can get to their kids' Schoology, they can get to their kids' Power School, they can get to whatever else we have for parents, rather than them having to keep track of all these usernames and passwords.
Not to mention there's all the different sites that we use. So if they're all in one place,
Yeah.
so it's basically like an iPad home screen where you just push the icon and.
Yeah, it does. It looks like an iPad home screen. You log into the portal and that's what it looks like. And then you're opening up the apps from there without having to log into all of
Right.
it and have all these different
Which I
usernames.
know was the biggest thing for my kids is, I don't remember what platform we used.
Yeah. So, like I said, the state that is funded right now, we are signed up to implement 22-23, so we should know by then, you know, if it's gonna be paid for, and if not, that's the worst case scenario. But the rep and the people that are working on the project at the state don't see that not being funded, but there's always a chance.
So they're paying for it this year?
For sure this year, yep, there's some schools that got in on the implementation for this year.
Okay. And then you're talking about doing a pilot with a few teachers, few classrooms?
Nope, I'm just gonna have them sit down in the demo so that they can see what it looks like, the product, and have any questions that they might have. cause I've never been trained on it either. I've seen it at the conference I went to, but they'll just sit in on the demo and be able to ask more questions about it and bring that back
Okay.
for any other further questions of teachers, so that we have, that one in the high school and elementary know
Then you're
what's
looking
going
at
on.
implementing next year then?
Yeah, implementation wouldn't start until later this spring. It takes about 7 weeks, later this spring or early summer.
Okay.
That is about it. We have some iPads that, are for sale that I was gonna sell on parent-teacher conference night. Some of our staff have bought some of them, so there's a few items when we do conferences that I'm just gonna sell old devices, basically iPads as far as, no computers. I have some iPads, printers, and some monitors, just some odds and ends kinds of things. Then I'm presenting at a Power School conference next week, so
Okay.
that's it.
You were gone for a meeting one time and you forwarded a message about the phone system. Do you have any updates on the phone system stuff?
Well, we're good for a couple of years now,
Okay.
for 3 years, but in 2 years, we're gonna want to look at a different solution. So that's down the road, that's what we have to keep in mind. And at this point, I couldn't even tell you because in 2 years, things are gonna look really different with phones.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
even now, the way phone systems are being installed with licensing and things, it's way different.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
What does any ballpark what a system like that costs?
I haven't got any concrete prices from them, no. Just because it's so far out, I couldn't even give you something.
We may not even have
What we
actual
paid
phones
back when we
system and
built, I
computer
don't know,
computers.
30,000, I'm just throwing something out.
Okay, thank you.
That could be way high, I don't know.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, Mrs. Bitts? Committee reports, we have any?
There was none, no.
Don't think so, okay. Old business or unfinished superintendent evaluation. Everybody have any issues with this new form that anybody had? Just questions?
No, I really liked it.
Yeah,
me too. I
Okay.
loved hearing how he was feeling, and I just, yeah, we've never had that before, so that was really, yeah, I really
Okay.
liked that.
But this is the only one we're gonna get like that though, isn't it? Isn't it gonna
Possibly.
change?
This,
For the
March
fall.
one will be different, yes,
Yeah, the fall one will be this one, and the March one will be different.
will be different, yes.
Oh,
This one
okay.
will always be
But
the
then, yeah,
November, this
okay,
type in
this will
November.
always be in the fall.
Yes.
Okay, I
Yes.
get it.
Yep,
Yeah.
I misunderstood that.
No, it will depend upon if you like the form and it worked, then yes, we will continue to do this one moving forward as the first eval for that. But I know in going through it, I mean, I appreciated the feedback and the comments. And there kind of helps me get a idea too as far as what you're thinking as a board. Because just some comments like, a board retreat in August on that, I mean, I think that's other board members see that and I think see the benefit that that could be instead of in March, for that, just a reminder, staff evaluations, kind of where are we at with that, negotiation year and what that's gonna look like. That was a lot of comments, for that, electives moving forward, community communications, follow up on changes that we've had in communication, like with the BERT team. So I like seeing those comments and those reminders and just getting a sense of what everybody is thinking. So, I mean, I greatly appreciate the feedback for myself.
Well, and I like this form better because by reading through it, it kind of triggers some, oh yeah, I was gonna,
Yep.
I remember this I want to mention and things like that. So I like this form as far as being able to communicate better with you.
so everything came back satisfactory and all, right? I don't know if you need to dive in, is any more questions from it after you've seen where comments and what Mr. Curry's added on to it? I mean, if not, we just need a motion to approve a satisfactory superintendent evaluation.
I'll make a motion to approve a satisfactory superintendent evaluation. Is that how it's worded?
Yeah.
I'll second.
Second,
That was a little
Okay.
mouthful.
Who got the second?
Cindy.
Cindy?
Roll call when you're ready, Lindsay.
Rob?
Yes.
Chad?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Cindy?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
And thank you, Mr. Curry, we appreciate where you're at here right now, appreciate it. New business, I got one letter here, I'll read here, it says, Dear Mr. Schwer and Barnes County North School Board, it is with great sadness that I am submitting my resignation from the Barnes County North School Board effective 15th of November 2022. I'll be moving out of the district and will be unable to continue my duties with the board. I've enjoyed the time I have spent on the board. It has been so wonderful to work with dedicated professionals for the last 5 years. I know the Barnes County North School District will continue striving for excellence in our students, our staff, and ourselves. Appreciate all of you, and hope you nothing but success in the future. Sincerely, Chad Bakken. Appreciate what you've done for us there, Chad.
Thank you.
So then you sent out the procedure, it's in the packet, which we've
Yep.
gone through before about to fill that position. So you'll get that noticed, and for how long are you gonna
I
shoot?
think we're gonna go till December 8th, which gives us, what, approximately 3 weeks?
Okay. To
Says
December,
between 2 and 4.
said between two, so you're gonna go to December 8th, okay?
Yeah, December 8th, and then as we get them, as Lindsay gets them, she'll send them out to you to look at, and then at the next board meeting, depending upon how many, if there's any, whatever,
Okay.
you guys, I understand, have been through the process, so
Yep.
you know how it works.
Yep,
What
Just-
happens if we don't get anybody?
then I have to appoint somebody according to our policy.
Call people.
Search
We're gonna
people.
follow the policy.
Yep.
Okay. Well, thanks, Chad, I appreciate what you've done, so.
All right, thank you.
Good luck.
So then we'll jump to, report Family Connection, have any?
No report this month.
Career and Tech, we meet after the meeting, so I haven't had nothing new there. And Cheyenne Valley's
Cheyenne
meeting later.
Valley's next week.
Yep.
So I'll just, once I get the report, hopefully we'll have a longer agenda, I'll just send it out to you
Yeah.
for your information after it comes back to me. So,
I'm gonna send out for the vocational one, so if you had any questions coming up, we're having that,
So
so,
we'll probably have, you guys will each have 2 meetings prior to our next board meeting then probably.
probably.
Probably, yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so looks at next meeting, December 21st, 7 o'clock, and nothing else before us, we're adjourned.
No way.